The head of Treasury has warned the full economic impact of the outbreak is not yet known. Let's take you live to our political reporter, Trudy McIntosh. And Trudy, the Treasury Secretary painted a bit of a grim picture as to where the economy is headed.
He certainly did. Stephen Kennedy appearing before Senate estimates this morning, providing this flagged update on what impact we are expected to see, not only from coronavirus, but also from the bushfires. Taking you through these numbers, we did know that the bushfires were going to have an impact of around 0.2% in the March quarter. That has been reiterated again today. But then this figure, when it comes to coronavirus, the Treasury Secretary saying that this will slice at least 0.5% off GDP in this March quarter. Here he was explaining how they got to that figure.
This preliminary estimate takes into account the direct impacts on tourism, international education exports and some exchange rate effects. It does not include supply chain disruptions or other broader impacts. Beyond this preliminary estimate for the March quarter, it is too early to tell, given the uncertainties, what the full impact of the COVID-19 coronavirus will be on the Australian economy.
We're now hearing more talk of recession around Canberra. In the wake of these figures, we know we would need to see 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth in order to trigger that, and Treasury making it clear their modelling for now does not show that that is going to be the case. But the government nonetheless is, as we know, working on this stimulus package. It's going to be in the billions, trying to help businesses, it seems like, who are going to be the most impacted by this. Labor really pursuing the Treasury Secretary today about whether he would be willing to provide that similar advice during the GFC that Ken Henry did, that go hard, go household. Here's his response to that.
The government will need to be nimble in how it watches how the shock unfolds.
Instead of go households, you're going business. that would be seen as your priority focus.
Well, we need to be targeted with businesses as well. Not all businesses are affected to the same degree. Some of our larger businesses have very healthy balance sheets at the moment.
In the meantime, Trudy, a row has broken out between New South Wales and the federal government over funding for emergency aged care workers.
Yeah, this fight has erupted over the fact that New South Wales believes that they have been shortchanged by the Commonwealth Government when it comes to providing additional workers, how to fund that in places that have been struck by coronavirus. We know in Macquarie Park in North Sydney, there has been this aged care centre where a lot of workers have called in sick, concerned about coronavirus. The New South Wales Health Minister, Brad Hazzard, really taking the Commonwealth to task, saying they had agreed to provide a level of funding, but for now the New South Wales has had to dip into their own pockets. Here he was, and then here was the Health Minister's response.
We're saying now to the federal government that we need to have a funding package that will support us in these nimble decisions that we're making, not having to jump through bureaucratic hoops to get additional funding, particularly when we're putting New South Wales health staff into federally funded aged care facilities.
I think the most important reassurance that I can provide and we can provide, not just as a government, but as a nation where we have Commonwealth and state and territory governments all working together, is that we have a coronavirus emergency plan. That includes workforce.
So, Ash, this is playing out on the public stage, this fight between the New South Wales government and the federal government. Federal Labor, for their part, is just asking both sides to pick up the phone and sort this out.